Good evening. My name is Melissa Hosick. I'm the adult programming librarian here at the East Brunswick Public Library. Thank you so much for coming out, whether in person or online, to learn a little bit more about starting a new business as an immigrant. This event is co-sponsored by the East Brunswick Regional Chamber of Commerce. All these individuals are officers, and they'll probably talk a little bit at the end about what the Chamber can do and help you support starting a business, and they will be sharing some of their stories and challenges. This event is part of Welcoming Week, where we invite everyone in our community, no matter where they're from and their background experience, to resources in our community. Everyone is welcome, and we try to provide as many resources and connections as we can. So we're very excited for this program tonight. We have 3 different individuals, all with different backgrounds, different stories, and different businesses to share with us. So Sunit Patel, who's the president of the East Brunswick Regional Chamber of Commerce, Pragati Parikh, Esquire, first vice president, East Brunswick Regional Chamber of Commerce, and Ronnie Hsieh-Li, secretary for the chamber as well, and our community's cheerleader. So thank you all for joining us. So I'd like you guys to talk each a little bit about what your business is, and then go into maybe your immigrant experience coming here to the U.S.
Absolutely, Melissa. Thanks a lot for offering us to provide all the information to the community. We love to do that. So my name is Sunit Patel. As Melissa said it, I'm a certified public accountant as well as the financial advisor. And I am running the 2 offices. I came in this country since 1993. And when I came in, I was barely speaking English. All right, guys, so it was hard for me to understand. I study everything in English in India, but when I come over here, in India, we don't use the English as a primary language. So it was a struggle. And once I understand certain slang words, we don't understand. So it was struggle in the starting, but when you get used to it, it was fun. All right, so let me give it to mic to Pragati.
Hi, everyone. My name is Pragati Parikh. I came to United States when I was about 9-10 years old. I started here in elementary school, to be exact, 4th grade. So all my education has been from United States, and the transition wasn't easy, but as Sunit said, we had a second language that we learned in India, and that was English. So as I was fairly young and didn't know basic English, the transition wasn't that bad. But as he said, it was a struggle, but we managed. Yeah, I am an attorney by profession. My law practice is actually near here in Spotswood. I'm a sole practitioner, law office of Pragati J, Parikh, LLC. And passing on to Ronnie.
Good evening, East Brunswick. I'm Ronnie Hsieh-Li. I am a licensed bilingual speech-language pathologist in my career path at Rehab medicine. I did immigrate from Taiwan, so I was made in Taiwan. And fortunately, with my parents, they gave me an opportunity for education in America when I was very young. So yes, all my academics have been in the United States. However, being fluent in Mandarin or Shanghainese, when we immigrated to Miami, they spoke Spanish, and I had to learn Spanish more than English. So it was a different opportunity, but certainly it's powerful to maintain your culture and your bilingual if you're able to. And so my career path in rehab medicine has been at NYU Downtown Hospital, acute care, and servicing an acute care population with physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy. You're working with the medical disciplines. I did a lot of acute care stroke patients, endoscopies for swallow studies, pulmonary, trach patients. So there is a lot of multidisciplinary with the medical team. And that also led to long-term care, skilled nursing, but as a bilingual speech pathologist in communication, I also work with New York City Board of Education. So the consulting is diverse, and also teaching ESL for many Touro College in the evening. So New York City offers many opportunities for you to engage. But the biggest end is you have to build your camaraderie, your community, and the resources will come to you because those are the opportunities you create. So I'll pass on to the next question, back to Melissa.
Okay, so you all have very different backgrounds and different interests in the careers that you have chosen, or at least have come your way, because paths obviously change over time. When you did think about wanting to start a small business, What challenges did you find? How were you inspired to get in there? And how was that first step in the journey of starting those?
All right, so first of all, like when I came in this country, my background was a chartered accountant in India, lawyer, and cost accountant. So it looks like I overstudied in India. When I come over here, evaluated my degree, and when they asked me, like, okay, you are qualified to appear in the test. So once I got all my licenses, I was still working as a financial officer in the cheese manufacturing company. And the company has decided to move from New Jersey to Miami. But during all this process, even though when I was working, I always preferred to have other option open. So I had started my part-time business, in which I was only serving my friends and family for all the accounting needs, business tax services, as well as financial needs for investment and retirement plans and all that stuff. So I already have that in my mind, right? Once company decided to move to Miami, I'm not moving to Miami. I said like, hey, I'm staying over here. I have family. And that's why once that decision I made by me, and my wife always support that decision. So that's how I started in the business.
So right out of law school, I was able to get a job working at someone else's law office, and that went well. Needed experience, needed a paycheck to pay rent and student loans. So job was it, and I was able to do that. I did work for the law firm for many years, and in that time, I got married and had kids, and at that point, a decision had to be made with having young kids and their needs. And at that time, I had my parents who were elderly and in need of support as well. Having that 9-to-5 job, or sometimes needed to be late hours, that flexibility wasn't there that my family needed at that time. And at that point, I decided to become a sole practitioner, open up my own law office, put the shingle out, and I did that about 9 years ago, and it was the best decision of my life, I would say. Not only becoming my own boss gave me the flexibility I needed to raise my family and meet their needs, in addition to take care of my parents who were in need. With that flexibility comes other additional stress, right? When you go from getting a fixed paycheck versus, okay, am I even gonna have a paycheck this week or next week? So, but overall, my intent of becoming a sole practitioner was that I am able to take care of my family in addition to continue practice of law. And luckily, with struggle and hard times, I was able to do that and have been doing that for the past 9 years.
That's fantastic, Pragati, because as a woman, when you're expected to have your family, but yet you want to pursue your career, and I was a New York commuter as East Brunswick. East Brunswick has so many commuters, so thank goodness for that. But I also have the New York license and New Jersey license, because I knew I was going to be transitioning to come back. And when the principal says, well, you're not back to pick up your own children from school, but meanwhile you're on call to do an assessment with the physicians for someone who's going to stroke out or can't swallow, you can't discharge the patient, you feel torn. So the transition came that I had to find private practice, colleagues here in East Brunswick, Center for Speech and Hearing Sciences, a private practice, and I started that to work with this great, wonderful team of audiologists and speech pathologists and the ENTs who are working in our neighboring medical facilities. So it was a great transition, but certainly the commute was still there because I did not want to leave New York City with all the possibilities and opportunities, and the financial reward is so much higher in New York City, as we know. But building a life in East Brunswick community has been so rewarding that you find yourself in a whole different career, a different pivot, a different life, building new friends. We were having friends just from the commuter bus. And if that's your only connection versus your own neighbors, and so you have to still think, where's your priority? But private practice is certainly hard work 24/7 because you're also writing documentation and reports, you're bringing it home. Insurances don't remunerate at the high capacity like before, so it's stressful in that manner. So I appreciate with Sunit and Pragati giving their same stories, pressure.
I have a question that's not on our planned list, but did you find in this community or the communities where you were starting your small businesses, mentorship kind of things where there were people who were helping give that feedback, or even if it was just family members that were like trying to help you get through those processes, whether it's just emotional support, which as we know is extremely important, or helping you get the skills to grow your business and make those connections?
Definitely. In the East Brunswick, actually, in the chamber, there are a lot of good people who personally mentor you and who will actually also help you out a lot. In my case, like, I personally read as well as watch all the positive videos as well as positive books in the morning. All right, so that's how I start my day. So, and also, I connect with the people who are more uplifting and more positive. If the people are complainer or the crying baby, I stay away from that. That's the personal choice. Because that's the only way you can control your thoughts, your behavior, what are you going to do in the life, right? And that actually, my conscious decision helped me a lot, as well as my own family. They know it, like, okay, I'm more focused on certain things. And my both kids, my twins, as well as my wife, they always support it. Any question, concern we have it, we always discuss, four of us. They express their opinion very bluntly. They tell me I'm wrong, and sometimes it's hard for me to digest it, but I accept. And that's how I connect with the people who are more positive. So, and it helps me a lot. To the mentorship, I also attend a lot of mentor seminars, which helps me to control my thoughts, basically.
Mine is a little different. My kids are young, so going to the kids was not an option. Going to the parents was definitely not an option when they were dependent on me. But finding mentorship for me was a little difficult, to be honest with you, because the profession itself is very competitive. So finding an attorney who is able to assist and mentor you, I just did not have that opportunity come my way until just recently, 4 or 5 years back. And that is thanks to the East Brunswick Regional Chamber of Commerce. When I joined the chamber about 4 or 5 years ago, that is where I met different attorneys in the same field. And to my surprise, they were willing to help. And not just we were able to bounce off ideas, hey, I have this case and it's just a little difficult and I don't know how to handle it. Oh, and it was just amazing. And this a handful of 3-4 attorneys that we have in the chamber really came through for me because I needed that help, didn't know where to turn to. And luckily, they are senior and they had that experience and they were able to say, hey, try it this way or try it that way. And same vice versa, though they are seniors to me, certain field of law, that is not something they do, which I do. And twice one of the attorneys came to me and said, hey, Pragati, I have this issue. You do mostly this, I'm just doing this on the side. Can you guide me? Can you tell me what I can do? What are my options? And we were able to bounce off ideas and it worked. So I'm very grateful to East Brunswick Regional Chamber of Commerce, where I met these professionals who were able to help me and guide me and be a bit of a mentor for me, and vice versa. Well, at least hope I wasn't a mentor for them, but at least I was able to bounce off ideas and provide some type of support that they needed at the time that they needed. Ronnie?
Yes, so for the speech and hearing sciences, right, I treated a lot of pediatrics and adults in our community in East Brunswick, but I would find that my professional association gave me the chance to go to continuing education. It's powerful. My colleagues were women, but also men, and we also just shared, because that was the nature of our field and industry. We're all helping the client, the patient, the families. You develop so many great relationships through the years. And even my patients from the acute care hospitals 40 years ago, we still keep in contact and meet. Even my colleagues, we come out every year to either meet up. So it's what you can bring to any organization. So whether you're in high school or college, I find that just try to get out and join organizations. You get your peers. You're going to have so much more opportunities. Fortunately, not only East Brunswick Regional Chamber of Commerce have given me opportunities to grow and look at all these magnificent champions in our community. Amazing. Who would know, right? So if I was always a commuter, I would never have a chance to be local. So when my career path in practice has changed, because now I try to represent more of community opportunities, bridge opportunities for professionals, but even families. So we work together with East Brunswick Recreation Parks in our community, sports, so vital for mental health, with tennis, pickleball, or cricket. So there's a lot of different avenues, and thank you to Melissa, Karen Perry, and Chris Barnes with the library, voting and coming out for Welcome Week. We are a town of immigrants. 30% of East Brunswick are of diverse populations, and more are coming to East Brunswick because of Mayor Cohen's redevelopment and revitalization. So we applaud the unity of our community and our diversity. So I appreciate just meeting with Sunit and Pragati and even being on a board with them to see them work. I learned so much. Thank you.
See, Ronnie, I said, is our community cheerleader. She has the pom-pom, and you really helped, and we talk about all these different organizations do all these things, but sometimes we are not as connected as we could be. So we don't realize how we can help each other. And it's cool, like we have a member of the library who's part of the chamber, represent kind of the nonprofit world and how those connections are important. So bringing everyone together is a really important thing. And actually that leads to another question. You said we're diverse. It's a third of the residents are not native born. There are 28 plus languages spoken in the schools. So how do you take your experience with your culture, your immigrant experience, knowing your communities and living in your communities and helping make that a really good small business owner? And how does that make you feel that you are successful using that experience? What unique qualities does that give you? Because I think it does.
Yeah, no, definitely. As you said it, like we are a diverse group in the East Brunswick community, right? But also when you brought up and raised for specific culture, basically culture-wise, and as long as I think in our chamber as well as in the community, once you learn to accept everybody, everybody has their own way to express their feeling as well as their own religion, as everything basically, right? This community actually help us a lot because there are each community, whoever is living in the East Brunswick, they all have their own celebration, which actually run as well as support by township. And that's the blessing, tell you the truth, because everybody enjoys, everybody participate. Like Ronnie and I, we come across so many different events, like a culture-wise, and we still go and celebrate each other's event. We always have fun. We always have fun. So I think that's the unity as well as cultural diversification always bring people together. That's what I feel over here.
For me, diversity has benefited my business, my practice. I speak 2 different languages in addition to English. My parents are very cultural people. My family is very cultural. And I understand the background where they come from, their thought process. So when someone comes to me with their cultural background and they have expectations, or their tone might be a little harsh, but tone may be, or their physical way of speaking may be a little different or offensive, but because I know which culture they're coming from, it's a little easy for me to understand that and not be too offended and actually still be able to assist them with their question or concern. Especially with this diversity, things that happen back home are not necessarily the way it happens here. So that's a big difference, where, to just give an example, in India, there is no concept of a will. It's just understood that it'll just go to the next of kin. Here, things are a bit different. And when dealing with someone who's an elderly and is looking to do a will, and this is the concept that comes, oh, I can just do that. I'm like, no. It's not how it works in the United States. It's a little different. We have to do this and that and that. So knowing the culture background does help and benefit my business, knowing that diversity, understanding that every culture is different. They have a different demeanor in speaking. My family, I am very loud. Naturally, I am very loud. So you may think that, oh my God, she's so mean and she's so aggressive, but that's my nature. That's my natural tone. And if you know me, you know that's my tone and that's how certain cultures are. And if you know that's how the culture is, you don't get offended. You know that's just, there's no harm. They're just loving you and speaking to you in a normal tone. So knowing the diversity definitely does help the business and makes you better understand who you're dealing with.
So if you're loud, Ronnie is quite loud on the sports, right? So
You're
you
not
can see
quiet most of the time.
my persona on the outside for every community member sees me as being loud. However, the Asian culture, right, behind closed doors, I have to be subservient. It's a very traditional role. And you say, wow, I'm in the woman of the, right, advocating for women's independence, opportunities, but yet you say, is it worth the fight? We all respect, but every culture, every family is unique. Volunteering is so important to me. That's why my role now has shifted after 40 years of my professional career. But now giving back as a volunteer to so many organizations is just so exciting. That's the joy when you see Sunit, sunshine, right? Happy. It's about fun. Bring the fundraiser, bring the fundamentals, bring fun, mental health. Share that you are so grateful to everyone you meet. Thank you is a great positive word. When I was interviewed for a U.S. Open champion to champion for tennis, I was interviewed by Novak Djokovic, right? He's Serbian. And I would say to him, how would I say thank you in Serbian? And he would say Kabbalah. So then I said in Chinese and Mandarin, I would say Shay, and that's my maiden name. So I would prefer the question of say, how do I say thank you in your language? So if I say to Sunit, I learned, should I say shukriya or danyavad, right? But this is a dziękuję for Polish, right? The more you ask those questions as opposed to where are you from, it gets to be a little bit of a positive. As Sunit would say, find your positive. You can always bring joy. For my patients, yes, I will always bring joy. It didn't have a pom-pom then, but my pediatric population, my adults, I always gave them a tennis ball, and people would say, wow, what is that? Because people even come at Halloween coming up. I'm the house that gives Halloween candy and a tennis ball. Go to that lady, come every year. So you're finding a different way. It wasn't me marketing, but you're finding a way. What brings joy? My father would say, oh, all you have to do is smile. It's a gift. Be happy, smile back, but bring joy. And so in honor for my parents who gave me this opportunity of education and having a life of service, we do have a legacy for my parents, Jonathan Hsieh and Jane Hsieh, for medical school students, which are third or fourth year medical school students. So my siblings said, instead of an inheritance or a will, let's just put it towards scholarship. And I would say to the high school students, seek out as many scholarships that you can. Organizations are out there, grants are out there. This is what we have for federal, the power of getting everybody to know that when we are immigrants, we bring a lot of education, academics, but we also bring culture. When we celebrate the Lunar New Year, Diwali coming up, right? And it's just so exciting because when I started the cricket club as a founder, people would say, you're not even Southeast Indian. I said, yeah, I'm East Brunswick, so what's the matter, right? So whatever you do, you have to be more proactive, right? I learned that by becoming more confident through my career path. But mentors, when you ask, there are many around you that you never know what opportunities they give you. Like Sunit and Pragati and Melissa always give me many opportunities to speak, but I will pass it back to Melissa.
The cool thing is that they are saying what is true. I see them out in the community and doing things, and we're excited that we also, as the library, can be a place that isn't a monocultural organization that everyone is welcome and can bring their cool things. We've done Diwali, we've done Lunar New Year, we just had a Rosh Hashanah craft earlier this evening. And so those opportunities of bringing together I think is important, especially because not everyone has kids in the schools where they're having that brought in. So these people who are moving after retirees or they no longer have kids in the schools, they're not thinking of those opportunities in the same way. Like the senior center does their little cultural nights and things. And it's great to see, as I came from a rural part of southern New Jersey where there was not a lot of diversity, but starting to seeing it even change there is just a really awesome thing and opportunity. And saying, we put a sign in the front of the library when you walk in that says welcome in over 20 languages. Going through and making sure that all of them were correct and all the fonts are correct and things was a fascinating experience. I'm talking to coworkers that I didn't really talk to in the same way just to do this small thing, but they were so excited being like, I'm part of this. And like, it doesn't matter what role you are, but they all contributed. So it's good to see all that symbiotic collaborative things going. That's why I love East Brunswick. What are some things that us as community members, non-business owners, or the community, or even local or other government can do to help support small businesses and also support you now or new people coming down the lane who are looking at these opportunities? What kind of other support? We obviously have the chamber, but what kind of other support can we provide to small business owners in our community?
That's a great question. So whether they are the business owner or the non-business owner, that's what you ask.
Yeah, how can a non-business owner help the business owners in the community?
Oh, that's a great question. Very easy, right? Whoever lives in the East Brunswick, as well as all surrounding towns, definitely try to attend any of the free seminar, as well as we are having a East Brunswick Day. You will meet a lot of businesses who gonna have their stall over there. You can meet a lot of people there, right? As well as the word of mouth. Like I'm providing the certified public accountant, so CPA services as well as financial services, right? You can ask somebody and they will say, hey, listen, talk to Sunit Patel. He can guide you. Very different. So I also speak the 3 different language. I can definitely explain you what is good for you, what is not good for you, how it can help you out, right? So non-business owner can definitely do or connect through the community. We have a lot of different events going on in the East Brunswick Public Library, as well as surrounding town. And if you reach out to the East Brunswick Township website or public library website, you will see a lot of events going on, which is non-business events, right? Once you attend it, you will find more action, more events, information, as well as how you can connect with the different people, right? So I would highly recommend to do that.
Well, mine is very simple. Non-business owners or business owners can support local business owners, period. Shop local, shop surrounding areas. You need an attorney, look up for attorneys in East Brunswick, nearby in Spotswood, what that is close to you. Shop local. Simple recipe. Shop local. There's a lot of services that we offer to our community. I mean, as I mentioned, that my office is in Spotswood. There's a local bank that people go into there, and if they have an emergency and a legal question, I had received multiple calls. Hey, Pragati, can you help this customer of ours out? I think you can guide them. And sure enough, there was no cost, there was no service, but they were in a need. And no one was able to give them that path, that direction that they needed. And the only reason the connection happened is because it's a local business to business referral. There was no money exchanged or anything like that, but just helping one another out. And sometimes in helping one another out, you may exchange business and you may exchange services, professional services or so on, but at least you're building that community, you're building that relationship. So my overall thought is shop local or surrounding nearby areas.
I agree with all your leadership, innovation. It's really about bridging any gap. The next person you meet, even our audience member, can bring huge opportunities in a new pathway that we would never have explored. So our community does support local businesses, and that's why our East Brunswick Regional Chamber of Commerce supports so much of our community, because that helps grow. Just our chamber has really grown so differently since COVID, and we're really proud of our membership increasing with the amount of nonprofits engaging, as well as small business owners, but also so many businesses are having ribbon ceremonies, as you see in East Brunswick. Every week, we have a new business that wants to be shouted out or celebrated for their 25 years in service to our community. That's remarkable. And even for us to give them recognition, because that shows you, oh, we are a partner. We're a bigger family than just your own immediate. Yes, we're all taxpayers, but all these innovations that are going on Route 18 with the redevelopment and revitalization. So we appreciate programs like Vote. We're coming up, Get Out to Vote, which is Melissa put that out and registered so many yesterday. And hopefully in November, we have the candidates for Board of Education, so vital, our own Mayor Cohen up for reelection. But to come to America, to have that freedom to vote, that is when people die and people are not voting, I always impact that. When people have given their lives of sacrifice, we really do have to show that honor and respect. In return, what can we be of service? And yes, as my slides of Dr. Martin Luther King is really, everyone is a great, right? Because you can all serve, you can all do a feedback into your community. You can make the difference. Margaret Mead would also say a small group of people can make the difference when you work together. Henry Ford would say, yeah, you come together, but you can grow together, keeping together, and then you make progress. And it's really evident when we see each other and just introduce your names, not just hey you, but each one of us do know people by their names. And that is one way of coaching that carries over. Children feel validated, adults feel validated, and it is a way of just saying thank you, we appreciate you, because everyone, as I would say in my terms of thank you for your ACE service and leadership, because you're strengthening a lot of our community champions.
So the last question until we open up to the audience. So if you're in the chat on Zoom, please type your message in the webinar chat and I will relay it to our panelists, whether it's for all of them or specifically, you can let me know, and also for people in the room. But there's a lot of fear for starting a new business. There's a lot of, as a solo practitioner, there's a lot of stress into making that decision. You all have talked about those were big steps to make that decision. You had to really think them out. And also with things that are happening in not necessarily in our community, but in other communities in our country where being different is still being pushed back more than it should be. What advice would you share for people who are not native to the US, come with diversity and stories and things to feel comfortable enough to make that step and move into becoming a business owner?
So I would say it's like, first of all, if you want to run any business or be a business owner, right? Fear always going to be there. We just have to learn how to face the fear and still move on, right? Also, you got to make sure, like, whatever you want to do in the life, first you have to have the passion about it. Any business we do it, right? And also you need to enjoy what you do. If you don't enjoy as a business owner or anything you do in the life, then it's not fun. So to be a business owner, fear is always going to stay there, even though you become a successful, right? If anything new come in the life, fear, it's going to create the fear in our brain. So still take action. And once you take action, you will see how it will be turning out. And then you will contact the mentor. Whoever is mentoring you, they can guide you that, hey, it happens, this thing happened to me, and you can move on. So fear gonna stay there no matter what.
So picking back on what Sunit said, fear is here to stay. Fear is part of life. We learn to live with it, we learn to deal with it, and we still live. At the end, you have to make a decision. What is most important? Are you going to give into this fear, or you're going to go after your dream, or whatever you choose to do? For me, the situation was, okay, should I stay home and not practice law? And how am I going to take care of my 3 kids? How am I going to take care of my parents? What am I going to do? the options were very limited. So the fear that I had, oh my God, I'm going to drop on the floor, I'm going to be kissing the ground, not succeed. The fear definitely was there. But at what expense would I not follow my dream, not provide for my kids? So the fear was there, but had to take a back seat. I had to toughen up and say, nope, soul practice is what I want to do, because that's what is going to give me the stability that I need, the flexibility that I need to take care of my family. And I've been practicing law for 22 years, and guess what? That fear is still here. It's still in my back seat. Sometimes it tries to come on the passenger front seat, but we have to learn to manage. And if you don't manage, you will lose. And the cost of you losing is very great when you are a small business, because there's a lot that depends on that. When I practice business transactions, I have opened up businesses for clients, and unfortunately, I have closed down businesses for clients because they were not successful. And I have seen both ways, and I tell you, it's not easy to see someone go down, their business go under, rather for whatever reasonings that there may be. So as Sunit said, if you truly have a passion, and you do want to have that passion because you are investing so much into this, right? So much energy, so much time, so much, there's probably cost related, right? So much money that's going to go into this business. On top of that, your families, they're all attached, right? Your family is supporting you for this business. Their hopes are attached. So it has to be thought out. Is this what I want to do? Yes or no? Yes, I want to do this. Okay, great. The fear is still there. It's walking right next to you, but you're continuing to walk. You're not going to come to a full stop. You're going to continue walking because that is your dream. That's what you want to achieve. And whatever battle comes your way, you roll with the punches. I've been doing this for 22 years, being a sole practitioner of that 9 years, and I can still tell you I'm rolling with the punches. So accept the fear, but do not let it take over.
Or you can find alternative strategies, right? So that you don't let the fear overwhelm you. Pressure is a privilege, and that is written by Billie Jean King. She is our U.S. Tennis Association, big women's empowerment, and as a tennis champion, as a competitor, sports is very much a business, right? So when she had expressed that, and being at the U.S. Open annually, I coach for the Arthur Ashe Kids Day, and it's remarkable to see the impact. So whether you're marginalized, not having the opportunity, special needs, whatever you can do to impact someone's life, whether it's just business or sports or health or advocating for your community, everyone is an independent contractor too. So that's a different entity, keeping a full-time job with the benefits, but also as we all start that way, but then eventually finding the resources to become a private practitioner, but then you get the headaches. So then you sell your private practice and then you go back to being a consultant, because then we don't have the pressure of saying that you have to be in there. There aren't any jobs of 9 to 5 as much as now remote, and everyone's flexible, but many more independent contractors. So if that gives you peace, you have to find innovative ways. As young people have done so much side hustles now as entrepreneurs, it's a different generation when you have the web, online, and businesses that are just so lucrative that they're my future. So I hope that they can teach me too. I am a mentor for others. We have organizations like Asian American Pacific Islanders of East Brunswick. So that is a new nonprofit, and I'm their senior advisor. But to see that these are young families, that they want more Asian curriculum in the schools. So yes, now Chinese is a language offered in our schools, beyond just Spanish, French, and Italian. So it comes to a group of us that can make change. So I hope you recognize that East Brunswick Regional Chamber of Commerce does support a lot of our town and vice versa, but we are so diverse and looking forward to grow even further with the leadership of Sunit and Pragati and Larry Kroll.
So does anyone online or who's here in the audience have any questions? Okay, and we're gonna, so if you may have to, guys, help me rephrase it. The cord won't go that far, so go ahead. Okay, so the question is about the chambers making that transition from a full-time job and making that transition to the other side. What kinds of things can the chamber offer to help people who are considering or starting that transition? Like,
So let's first of all, anybody who's doing the full-time job, right, and they want to start any business. So first find out what kind of the business you want to start, right? Are you passionate about it? How much work you want to do that, right? So all that, once you agree with everything and you want to start it, in East Brunswick Public Library, there are a lot of events, as I said, going on, which is also sponsored by New Jersey state government, right? And as well as some of the speakers come from the government authority, which provide you more information about it, like how you started, what kind of the fund you can receive it, what the process has to be done. So I would definitely do that first.
My suggestion would be is first, you have a full-time job. Naturally, you're not willing to give that up until the part-time gig really turns into a full-time job. So you have to learn to balance the two. That's the main thing. Learning to balance the two is something that you have to do, and I'm sure you'll do it. As far as the part-time job that you really want to make sure grows into your main career, start little by little coming to the events at the library, coming to the EBRC Chambers evening events that we have, networking events we have. We have a breakfast breakfast networking event once a month in the morning. If you're able to, from your full-time job, if you're able to spare an hour, come to those events where you are able to network with people. And doing that, you may find out, oh, this person did it this way, they transitioned this way, or hey, that person is able to support my part-time job. He's a referral. He's a source of maybe a client to be. So those are the things that I would suggest that you kind of transition into little baby steps, right? There's not a huge financial, you're not putting out money, so much financial investment, but definitely that time investment is there because your physical need is going to be there. You physically are going to be attending events at the library or events at the chamber, right? So you physically have to be invested. And as you get more invested, you'll meet different people. And from here and there, you always find connections, right? I'm sure it's someone else who did the same transition from full-time to part-time in that same field may give you some pointers, or, hey, you do this on the side, I was looking to do this, can you help me? And you end up landing a client. Yeah. Ronnie?
What's your specialty? What's your specialty? So IT, so a lot of consulting, right? Even though in your full-time position, so you're hanging on to that, but are there other colleagues that you have that are consulting? Are there other agencies that, so you already are searching, but keeping consulting work is also lucrative because you're expanding your context, so.
The chamber has, I think, at least, three?
We have many
or four?
IT, yeah.
Four IT consultants, yes. So
They all are running different businesses.
businesses, yes.
With the coming out of a gang growth, it is passion. Yeah. Yeah, boy.
You have to know yourself, right? You're not, yes, you're competing for work, but you're not competing with someone else, what your strengths are. And in this chamber, as I mentioned earlier, there's multiple attorneys. They're all my competitors. We compete. We have similar field of practice that we do. One may overlap the another. But nonetheless, they're still mentoring. We're bouncing off ideas and things like that. So everyone, even though they're my competition, I don't see them individually as my competition, right? When I come to the chamber, they come to the chamber, I network, they network. Who you are going to gel with, who you're going to feel comfortable with, it's your personal decision. It may be that that person has 20 years of experience, I may have 10 years of experience, but you feel more comfortable with me, and therefore you'll go with me. So everything I wouldn't judge as a competition, because at the end, your own personality brings a lot to the table.
I agree with Pragati, because if you come at our chambers event, you will find 9 CPAs, 12 financial advisor, but I tell everybody I'm the best. Right? Because everybody has a strength as well as everyone has a weaknesses. So what's your strength, what is your weaknesses, right? And as everybody say it, like all the people not gonna like or pursue you, right? Everybody likes different things, different people. So never see everybody as your competition. Always says like, okay, I can do it. And as long as I'm true to my work and I can help somebody out, they will definitely become your client. So you start little by little, as Pragati said it.
So we're talking about all these events. The library has an events calendar online. If you go to ilove.ebpl.org, you'll see our events calendar button. You can subscribe to our weekly newsletter. We have a monthly Take a Business Break with local CPA Ed Mendlowitz, who basically has so much experience with so many different kinds of things. He talks about different topics, whether it's personal, finance, or starting businesses. I believe his November one is going to be more about starting a business. The Chamber does their networking breakfast here. We have access to Reference USA and other databases that help small business owners. We also are a location for SCORE's Princeton chapter, who helps with mentorship in small businesses as well. Those programs are free, so you can sign up for those as well. So there's definitely opportunities. And does the Chamber have an events page?
Yes. Once you go to the Chamber's website, right, it's www.ebrcc.org. Click on event, and you will see event calendar, and there are a list of all the events we listed right away.
And one thing I did want to add is to attend our events, you do not have to be a member. We prefer you're a member, but you can come in as a guest, as a non-member. You can come and visit us per event, check us out. And then if you think, okay, this is a chamber that is for me, I like the people, then we encourage you to become a member. So we do have an opportunity to just come and check us out, and I think that may serve your purpose in seeing what the chamber is about and trying to meet people who may be doing similar to you, part-time and full-time gigs and so on.
I don't seem to have any questions in the chat, but is there anything else that you want to share about any advice that you have for people out there who want to start a business, something you want to say about the Chamber that you found very helpful and beneficial, or tie this all up in a lovely bow in the evening?
I'm very lucky to have joined East Brunswick Regional Chamber of Commerce because it opened up a whole nother community and family of outstanding professionals, but just community champions. Who knew that your own neighbor would be so diverse and talented? And who knew that you can have a new friendship? Who knew that you could grow in your post-career life with another business or another opportunity that make you feel like you've been reborn, refired, rewired, more energized? So you've seen the personalities of Sunit and Pragati, right? So vibrant. And Melissa, always as the adult educator with services, has been so remarkable for our community. And when we partner with East Brunswick Public Library, East Brunswick Recreation and Community, which is EB Day on October the 6th, the first Sunday, please come out, everyone who can, and you'll see 5,000 participants and more at the Community Arts Center. You're going to see just this wonderful, when we have 50,000 residents, but then when you see every organization come out, not only for the businesses, but for the township administrators who put out such hard work and opportunities. The recreation program, the youth council, Love Serving Daisy, they're so numerous, but every organization, and Mega Holy that came out, they're having these cultural celebrations, Lunar New Year with the lion dance coming out of the library and into the courtyard when we have these market fairs, Winter Wonderland. There are so many, as you know, East Brunswick Recreation, .org, and you'll see the community events. So I'm sure if you're a resident here, then your family is involved because I'm sure you have participated in East Brunswick. So my last words are, I would say thank you very much, 谢谢, for giving me the opportunity to share the time with Sunit and Pragati from East Brunswick Regional Chamber of Commerce, but certainly for Melissa, Karen, and Chris Barnes from the library for doing such remarkable work. So I am appreciative. Thank you so much.
I would say it's like East Brunswick Chamber provides you more opportunity to do any kind of the network, right? So the person, whoever wants to do the business or even wants to get them more connected with the community, Chamber of Commerce in the East Brunswick Regional Chamber of Commerce is actually so vibrant, so open that you will find same field, variety of the people, or variety of the field, and the same people. So you will find a lot of experienced people who can guide you properly without charging you any fee, right? Same things like we always appreciate the people who wants to give back to community, right? That's our vision for our chamber. Don't just focus to take everything, also focus to give back to the community. And that makes our chamber more successful, and that's why a lot of people in the chamber member getting help from each other. And we refer to each other, right? Ronnie referred to me, same thing, I refer to Pragati, Pragati referred to me, So we work together and support each other by helping each other out. So that's how chamber can definitely help you out.
East Brunswick Regional Chamber has close to 300 members. Of that, on an average, we see about 90 members attending our events, which is a decent amount of people coming. That in itself speaks for itself when you have that many people interested in coming to a breakfast at 7:45 in the morning. And when we had our happy hour, we had about the same, 80 some odd people come to our happy hour event. And that, again, speaks volumes to itself, right? People are interested into network. And why would people continue coming if they are not receiving anything, right? So that just kind of fills in the blank. But what I do want to piggyback on from Sunit is, number one, when you come to this chamber, or I would say any place, any networking place you go to, the expectation should not be, what am I going to get out of this? And if that is your expectation, you're wasting your time, you're wasting your money. Come with the expectation that, hey, I'm going to go network and I'm going to meet new people and hopefully I'll make new friends. If you go with that expectation, you will come out ahead. It took me, I've been part of different chambers and I was there for multiple years and did not get any business. I came to this chamber 5 years ago, as I said, and it took me a few months because you, number one, have to come regularly, right? How are people going to know you if you don't invest your time? And soon enough, I started making friends. People started remembering me, and we became friends. And from there, it took off to business referrals. So if the expectation is I'm going to attend EBRC breakfast event or a happy hour or whatever event, and I'm going to land a client, no. And the expectation is, what can I offer to this chamber, right? Versus what the chamber can offer to me. It works hand in hand, but if you come in with the expectation of what can I offer to this chamber, that's going to take you out in the long run. It's going to give you more success in the long run because this chamber does have a lot of things that you as an individual can offer to this chamber. Okay, we have presentations educational seminars that we open up to our members where they can present topics of interest to our members. So yes, you are presenting, you are focusing, you are technically you're presenting your business, your expertise, but you're benefiting the chamber, right? In hopes of maybe someone is listening and will come out and retain you for your services. So if you think of it that way, what can I do for the chamber? I think you'll come out much ahead.
Yeah. So is there something like a summit or a way of places where people can congregate and pitch ideas and think tank? Is there any opportunity like that? Yeah. Is there something in the chamber that does anything like that?
Currently, we have the committees and the panels who does that, right? And it's only members participates in there, right? Non-member, we haven't opened up for the non-member yet. That's a great idea. We'll definitely keep in mind. But currently, we have only for member, and which is like a panel presentation or discussion in the committees. So we have several committees who are bringing different ideas and or present that one to the board of director. And then all the board of director, we have it. Majority of once the decision made, we go for it. Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah, but with that,
Yeah, so, no, I agree. But without the action, idea is nowhere to go, right? So basically, it's always great to have idea, but also if you walk it through, like, okay, I'll do these steps, what would be the ultimate result? So your expectation is this specific result. Until you do that action, idea not gonna fulfill. But same time, if you are ready to take action, but there is no idea, then it's also useless, right? So it goes hand to hand.
Well, I think we've used up our time for the evening. This has been recorded. We'll edit it down and post it on our YouTube channel. We'll share it with the chamber. So hopefully it'll be shared across social media as well. Thank you to everyone who participated. Thank you to people who will also be watching the recording. We know how busy life is, and sometimes you have to do things in an asynchronous way. But take care, everyone. Thank you all for joining me and sharing your stories.
Thanks
It's
a
so
lot,
good to
Malaysia.
hear-
Appreciate it.
Hear the story and hearing about success and all the different backgrounds there are. So thank you, everyone. Be safe and be well.
Thank you very much, guys.